Most girls think buying shoes is simple. You see something cute, you buy it, done. But there's a whole side to shoes that nobody actually talks about. The stuff that makes the difference between a pair you wear twice and a pair you reach for every single day. And by the end of this video, you're going to look at shoes completely differently. So let's talk about it, because if you've ever bought a pair of shoes that looked amazing in the store but destroyed your feet within an hour, or you've spent money on something that fell apart after 3 months, or you just feel like nothing in your wardrobe actually goes together, this one's for you. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're shopping for shoes. Most girls are doing it completely backwards. They start with how the shoe looks, and they end there too. And look, I get it. Shoes are visual. You see a cute pair and your brain just goes, yes, I need those. But the girls who always seem to have the best shoe game, they're thinking about it differently. They're not just picking what looks good on the shelf, they're picking what works for their life, their style, their feet, and their wardrobe, all at the same time. And once you understand how to do that, every single purchase you make starts to feel like a better decision. Let's start with the biggest mistake most girls make, and that is buying shoes without knowing their actual foot shape. You might think you know your size. You've been buying a size 7 or whatever for years, right? But your shoe size is not the same thing as knowing your foot shape. There are 3 basic foot types that most people fall into. You've got a narrow foot, a wide foot, and what's called a normal or medium width foot. And beyond width, there's also arch height. Low arches, medium arches, and high arches. These things matter way more than you think, because a shoe that's built for a narrow foot is going to feel completely different on someone with a wide foot, even if the size number is the same. If you've ever worn heels and felt like your foot was sliding forward, that's usually a sign the shoe doesn't match your foot shape. If you've worn flats and felt like the inside of your arch was just floating in midair with no support, that's an arch issue. And these little discomforts add up over time. They cause blisters, they cause back pain, they cause the kind of tiredness at the end of the day that you just accept as normal when it actually doesn't have to be. The easiest way to figure out your foot shape is to do the wet test at home. Wet the bottom of your foot and step onto a piece of paper or a paper bag. Look at the print you leave behind. If you can see almost your entire foot with very little curve cut in on the side, you have low arches or flat feet. If you see a very thin strip connecting the heel and the ball of your foot, you have high arches. And if it's somewhere in the middle, you've got normal arches. Once you know this, you can start looking for shoes that are actually built for your feet, not just your size number. Now let's talk about the types of shoes every girl actually needs in her wardrobe, because this is where most people get it wrong too. People either buy way too many of one type, or they're missing something completely obvious that would make getting dressed every morning 10 times easier. The first type of shoe you need is a clean, simple sneaker. Not something with a huge logo or crazy colors, just a clean white or neutral sneaker that can go with almost anything. These are your go-to shoes for days when you're not sure what to wear. They go with jeans, they go with dresses, they go with shorts. If you don't have a clean, simple sneaker right now, that's the first thing you should fix. The second type is a flat shoe. This could be ballet flats, loafers, or simple slip-ons. Flats are the shoe that takes an outfit from casual to a little more put together without any effort. A lot of girls skip flats and go straight for heels when they want to look dressed up, but flats can do almost the same job, and they're so much more comfortable for longer wear. The trick with flats is to find a pair that actually fits your heel. If your heel keeps slipping out when you walk, the flat is too big. A lot of girls buy flats a half size up because they're afraid they'll feel tight, but then the heel slips and you end up doing this awkward shuffle walk that looks nothing like you planned. The third type you need is a boot. It doesn't matter if it's ankle boots or knee-high boots, both are useful. Boots change the whole energy of an outfit. They make a simple jeans and top look feel intentional. They work in cold weather, and they can work in warmer weather too, depending on the style. A good boot is one of those things you spend a little more on because you're going to wear it constantly, and the cost per wear ends up being really low compared to a trendy pair of shoes you only wear 3 times. The fourth type is a sandal, and not just any sandal, a sandal that actually fits and flatters your foot. The thing about sandals is that they expose your feet completely, so the fit matters even more than with closed shoes. A sandal that's too big makes your feet look like they're just sitting on top of a platform with no relation to the shoe. A sandal that's too small looks like your foot is trying to escape. You want your foot to sit right in the middle of the sole with a small margin around the edges. Now let's get into something that most shoe videos never actually cover, and that's the material of the shoe and why it matters so much. Shoes come in real leather, faux leather, suede, canvas, mesh, and all kinds of synthetic materials. And the material affects not just how the shoe looks, but how long they last, how they feel on your foot, and how easy it is to take care of. Real leather shoes, for example, stretch slightly over time to fit your foot. That's why they can feel a little stiff at first, and then feel like they were made for you after a few wears. Faux leather doesn't do that. It stays the same shape it was in the store. So if faux leather shoes feel slightly tight when you try them on, they're just going to keep feeling tight. Canvas shoes, like your classic sneakers, breathe really well, which means your feet don't sweat as much, but they also get dirty fast and don't hold up well in the rain. Suede is beautiful, but it's high maintenance. You need to treat it with a suede protector spray before you wear it outside, and you can't let it get wet or it stains and loses its texture. Mesh shoes are great for working out because they're light and breathable, but they're not really meant for anything outside of athletic wear. Knowing what your shoes are made of helps you take care of them properly, which means they last longer, which means you save money over time. Let's talk about heels for a second, because this is a topic that has so much bad advice floating around. The number one thing I want to say about heels is this: the height of the heel is not the only thing that determines how comfortable a heel is. The platform matters too. A heel that's 4 inches tall with a 1-inch platform at the front only puts about 3 inches of actual pressure on your foot, but a heel that's 3 inches with no platform at all puts the full 3 inches of pressure on your foot. So a higher heel with a platform can sometimes feel more comfortable than a shorter heel without one. This is why some block heels and chunky heels feel so much easier to walk in than thin stilettos of the same height. The weight is distributed more evenly. If you're new to heels or you find them uncomfortable, start with a block heel or a kitten heel. A kitten heel is a very short, thin heel, usually under 2 inches. They look elegant and they barely add any pressure to your foot at all. From there, you can work your way up. Another thing about heels that nobody talks about: your foot moves forward in a heel when you walk. That's just gravity. So if you're buying heels, you actually want your toes to have a tiny bit of space at the front when you're standing still, because when you're walking, your foot slides forward, and what felt like a good fit standing still becomes tight at the toes within 20 minutes. Now here's where everything comes together. The secret to always having a great shoe wardrobe isn't spending more money, it's buying fewer shoes, but making sure every pair works harder. That means every pair you own should go with at least 3 or 4 things in your wardrobe. If you hold up a shoe and you can only think of one specific outfit it goes with, that shoe is probably not worth buying. The shoes that give you the most value are the ones that feel like they belong everywhere. Before you buy any shoe, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this fit the shape of my foot properly? Does this go with multiple things I already own? And is this made of a material I can actually take care of? If the answer to all 3 is yes, it's probably a good buy. If one of the answers is no, think twice. Shoes say a lot without you saying anything. The right ones make everything easier. And now you've got everything you need to start making better choices every single time. If this helped you, watch this next video. It's going to be just as useful.